Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the RBT5 kickoff show. Uh, I will be your host tonight. My name is Alexi21. I am joined here with the head admin, or one of the head admins, Fig Newtons, and we've got our head broadcaster, Vanille, who is in charge of all these great graphics you see, and she'll be streaming a lot of matches along with another number of community members. And we have a special co-host for tonight. We have Grizz with us, formerly of Team Apollyon, and currently, what team are you on in this tournament, Grizz?
Team Royal Chaos. It's a very interesting roster we have, similar to Apollyon, and only the adaptation would be Rails and Footy. So it's going to be good. Looking forward to it.
Okay. Yeah. Speaking of Rails, Rails had something come up. And normally he is here to bring the energy. You'll have to deal with me instead. Not nearly as exciting, but hopefully we can give you guys a good show and give you guys some information as to what's coming up for this tournament, what to expect. We're going to discuss a couple of things that are coming up, and we got a couple of interviews with past tournament winners. So it should be pretty cool. So first things first, this tournament we have 65 teams and over 350 registered players. This is by far the largest tournament in over a decade. So uh, big shout out to everyone that signed up and has agreed to play in this tournament. I think it goes to show the impact of both CETA Pug and the Last Stand update, both playing a big role in this sort of a revitalization of competitive Left 4 Dead 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so Fig, you've admin your fair share of tournaments. Uh, what exactly are you excited about in this one, and what kind of challenges are we facing by having this number of teams?
Oh boy, those are two big questions. I think, yeah, having that many teams is like you said, I've adminned a few Left 4 Dead 2 tournaments now, but this is the first one of this kind of size. I did help out with a bleed out tournament, but yeah, there's a lot of cats to herd here. So far, I think the Discord has been pretty successful. This is a new model we're trying just to keep everything organized. And honestly, I'm optimistic. I'm really happy that we have turnout like this is a lot more than even we expected. So super encouraging, and we're excited to see how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think any of us expected to have this many teams. I know Rails and I talked briefly, and we were hoping, hey, maybe 45 teams, maybe 50 teams, but to get 65 teams is just amazing. And
yeah, we would have been super happy with 50. That would have been awesome.
Exactly. And to speak a little bit about what you were saying about the Discord, I know one of the things that we've been kind of strict about is we're trying to keep all communication uh, focused on the Discord. You can imagine with having 30 plus games per week and the number of players that we have. None of us are trying to wake up to 50 Steam messages or DMs in Discord. If you could elaborate on that a little bit, Fig, just so we make sure everyone kind of knows what we're expecting.
Sure. I mean, I think that we're trying to be very disciplined, like you said, keeping communication on the Discord. As a tournament admin, a lot of people don't know this, but you find yourself answering the same question 80 times a day in Steam DMs. And our hope is that if we could keep everybody chatting on the Discord, then if I answer a question, then everyone else who had the same question might also see the answer. They may be able to answer it the next time someone asks, that sort of thing, so that people need to be able to help each other, at least as much as we can help them directly. So, we want to do the kind of like the BitTorrent of information distribution, just let it percolate out there.
Yeah, definitely going to be very helpful. It's always a community effort here in the world of competitive Left 4 Dead 2. So keeping our communication there, it's going to help us run things much more smoothly. So please, keep all your questions there in the general section, and we'll get to the fun part. We have a decent prize pool, and I think you probably know more about who's donated and our current amount, right, Fig?
Yeah, sure. I can read off some of the donations here. So the prize pool currently stands at an incredible $1,106 US. Thanks to donations from The Guardians 23, Jazz, I Lost Custody, Jared, Prodigy Sim, Rails Barlow, yours truly, and then also some donations from Scrubs, Marshmallow, and Frey.
Yeah, and as always, these events are always crowd funded. Unfortunately, we don't have any big sponsors. If you are out there watching, please contact us. We would love your money, but doesn't really happen for us. So a big shout out to the community, especially those heavy hitters dropping the big bucks. So it's a great way to start the tournament. It's not the biggest prize pool, but it definitely helps kind of add some authenticity to the event.
definitely.
So I think we'll cover a couple things about the tournament briefly before we get into our interviews. Well, the map pool, no one's ever played in a tournament and had everyone be happy with the map pool, but we do our best to try to mix things up. We can't play Dark Carnival and Parish every round, so what we've opted to do this tournament, we've got Parish, Carnival, and Hard Rain are our playoff maps as of right now. Reason being, everyone plays these maps, everyone knows these maps, and we want to make sure during the Swiss system that we can get a lot of teams to give some of these other maps a try, and maybe have them make their way into the pug scene a little bit more, and people screaming on it a little bit more. So I know I'll go ahead.
Yeah, just like you said, we can't play Dark Carnival every round, and we're trying something different this time around, just saving the best for last with the Parish, Dark Carnival, and Hard Rain. These other maps, hopefully introduces some variety, get people screaming on other maps too, like you said.
Exactly, and one of the changes that we well, not really a change, but we oftentimes see Hard Rain Downpour in the playoffs. This time we're going to see it in the Swiss stage though, so hopefully we'll get a lot more people playing it. It's a great custom map made by former competitive players, and is generally pretty well received.
Yeah, like you said, it's a great map. I think it's one of the best, if not the best, maps for competitive play. We were using it for grand finals a lot, and this time we decided, it's kind of a drag that this amazing map that so much work went into only gets played by 2 teams ever in a tournament. So this time we decided to make it move it into the Swiss pool so that more people could get exposure to it. It's a really fantastic custom campaign for competitive versus.
Yeah, it should be a good one, and that's currently our round 6 match or map. But we've also got round 1. We've got everyone's favorite death toll, affectionately referred to as wipe toll by many. It's definitely the kind of map that can be a little trickier when you're pugging per se. But I think when you get in this more team-based environment, people are a little more organized and they've practiced that. We'll definitely see a lot more safe rooms made than normal.
Mm-hmm.
And then following up, we've got another fan favorite, Swamp Fever. This is a map that I wish Rails was here. Rails is a Swamp fan. A very
I like it.
It's a very open map. You really can't make any mistakes on it, or else you're going to get punished because your opponent's not going to make those mistakes. Right. And then we've got Die Scraper in one of our custom campaigns, which is a fairly popular one. It's a fun map. And then we've got Dead Center, and then Pacifice, which has recently become quite popular, it seems.
Yeah,
that one comes up a lot.
Yeah, Pacifice is quite a treat for I think people that are going to be playing, because I've always felt like it's deserved more attention than what people have given it in the past, and I'm really looking forward to playing that more, because it's talked about diversity and something that's really different. It has 2 campaigns merged together, and it really is something. It's really cool playing that out, and just the variety of the map, the chokes, going from chokes to open areas, the scenery. It's a wonderful mesh, and I'm just glad to see that in the map pool for this tournament. It's really good that you guys got that in there. I'll let you go ahead on round 6 here. We got Hard Rain Downpour. I'm looking forward to that one, Alexi. I really am. That's another good map. Custom campaign. It's really good, man.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good one, as we discussed. But now I do want to kind of give it to Fig, because we are going to change the playoff format. It was originally going to be eight teams make the playoffs, and now we're going to have a 16-team playoff. And I'll let Fig talk about that.
Correct. We were originally pretty committed to the 8-team playoff, because in some tournaments recently, there were 16-team playoffs that took almost half the teams to the playoffs, which we didn't think was the right way to go. But now that we have 65 teams signed up, that's about the same ratio as we would have expected if we'd had like 32 teams. So we went ahead and after some discussion, thanks for everyone who participated and gave us your feedback on that, we decided that we will take 16 teams to the playoffs. However, it means that we haven't yet decided what the round of 16 map will be in the playoffs. So that is to be determined.
Yes. So if you have a favorite map, you put it in the chat. Maybe we see it. Maybe we like it. I don't know. As Fig has said, this isn't necessarily a democracy when it comes to choosing the maps. We're gonna go through and pick the one we think is best, but we definitely do want to hear feedback from you guys. And is there a chance we go 7 rounds on Swiss Fig or?
There's a chance. There's some folks in the chat asking also if there will be double elimination in the playoffs. The answer to that is no. That would extend the tournament just too much. So we are going to do a single elim. On the table is maybe a best of 3 grand finals. I really don't want to promise anything there. We have some more logistics to work out with that. But we're still actively considering adding a 7th Swiss round as well. So if we do add a seventh round in Swiss and take 16 to the playoffs, then that just underscores that we don't want this tournament to go on forever. So that probably is going to be the upper limit of the extensions.
Yes, absolutely. It's going to be already a long event. Can't really extend it much longer than it's already planned to be. So looking forward to it. Yeah, and if you're a newer team, this is your first tournament experience. A 7-round Swiss, you're likely going to get 7 games guaranteed. Unless you get a bye, then you may have 6 games. But it's a great chance for newer players to get some practice and playing against some more organized teams and really improving your skill set. So I think with that, we also want to.
So yeah, no, I just want to say for the new players, no pain, no gain, right? It's the same thing. You want to lift them weights, you got to put some time into it if you want to be a good bodybuilder, if you want to get in shape, right? I mean, it's the same thing with anything you want to get into. You want to get into a skill, you got to stay at it. And new players, they come in, they might get bashed out by the guys who've been around for a while. Even great players, they come back and they have to relearn and catch up with people. They kind of go through the same problem. So new people coming in, there may be a lot of teams, but there's going to be a lot of people that might feel discouraged because what they might go against. But if you guys hang in there and stick around, there could be more tournaments coming up for you guys to get your name out there. It's just like anything else, though. You got to put time in to get good at it. Hopefully, not too much time like me, though. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me. But a couple thousand is good enough. Yeah,
that is what motivated my decision, along with Brave Little Toaster, to introduce the Swiss system. Was that in those first Left 4 Dead tournaments that I played in, I lost my first 2 games and then I was just knocked out and didn't get any more experience. So with the Swiss system, you can just keep playing as long as teams stay motivated. They have something to live for. There's still teams scrimming, even if they're 1-6. So you can get a lot of experience as beginners, even if it's a little painful. You can learn a lot from that, from playing in that serious environment where you're playing with the same people week after week instead of just whoever shows up for the pug. So we're pretty happy with how that's gone in the past, and we're looking forward to doing it again.
Yeah, and there's absolutely a learning curve. I don't think anyone's ever come in and not gotten kicked around for a little bit. But that's just the name of the game. And
yeah, you got to pay your dues, pretty much.
Right. And I think that's a good way to transition into a great place to go play if you're a newer player. Cetapug.com. Cetapug's been pretty instrumental in kind of helping people, get games going. People who are new, finding a way to play, and obviously with the turnout of this tournament, it's been impactful. So a big shout out to Lucky Lock and his team. I know Prodigy Sim, I believe, is the head admin there as far as moderating, behavior and whatnot in bands. But really, just a great resource. So if you are watching this and you're not in the tournament, or you do want to get into competitive Left 4 Dead 2, Cetapug is definitely a great place to start. And with that said, I think it's are we ready for our first interview?
I think we are.
Excellent. So our first interview here is, we're going way back. We're going to, I believe it was the first RBT, if I'm not mistaken, the first winners of the first ever RBT. We're going to interview Deck from Team NV. And here he is. Deck, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Alexi and West.
Hey, Duck. So let's I'd just like to know, how did Envy come about to start with? Like, how did you guys bond together? How did you get together that right combination of, Kimchi being a great player, flyby, and just taking all that high skill and that raw aim and piecing it together, and trying to get these guys to really work together on things in position. How did all that come about?
Yeah, I think I mean we do go way back actually. I was just talking to Kimchi about this a couple of days ago, and actually we realized that we actually met each other 10 years ago in 2011 or 2010, late 2010 actually. We were playing I think some pugs and eventually some scrims together. So at that point in time, I was actually quite a new player. Just started versus not long ago before that, and I actually met them through through a couple of friends. So we're playing together, and then after a while we decided to just come up with the team and start joining some cups, because at that point in time I think, okay, just give me a second. Okay, do you guys actually Steam calling me on Steam now? Can you just stop, please? It's really annoying. I don't want to name names, but you know who you are, please. You're gonna interview here, very serious matter. To these 4 people, stop, thank you. All right, so where was I? Yeah, so basically we just started playing more together, and since at that point in time the Left 4 Dead 2 community was actually quite active, right? There were a lot of cups going on, so we just decided to join a few and see how that went, and I guess the rest is history. Yeah.
So as far as I know, Envy came later in 2013 to 14. So you had prior
Correct.
team names leading up to that, but you've been playing together for a long time, right?
Actually, so we were playing together, but at that point in time, I think Flyby, Kimchi, Makina, and Hansuki were already playing together in some Japanese cups. And then after a while, I kind of joined that. So before that, I played, I think, 1 or 2 tournaments as 4-axis with my old friend Rook. I think he still plays Cedar Pucks and some other things nowadays. And also after that, I played with Lusty and Release Footy. I think
Yep.
he's playing with you, right, Chris? This
Yes,
tournament.
they are.
Yeah.
Looking forward to
So
it. Very good
yeah,
player, talent for sure. I
yeah,
wish I was
yeah.
as good
So
as them, honestly.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. It'll be
Okay.
interesting because I haven't seen them play in quite a while. So yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see.
So playing what was it? The first RBT. What was the hardest team you guys went up against? What was the most difficult team?
I remember watching the match against was it HCP? Were they called HCP in that one, or was it Long Slong Dudes? It's a Bravo
LSD.
stack. It was LSD, wasn't it? It was
Yep.
yeah, it was a really back and forth game, that one. Really kept me on the edge of my seat, especially the hard rain one, which we didn't manage to take that home, but on Parish we did in the semifinals. So that was really an intense game to watch.
Oh yeah. What about I don't remember if it was RBT, but did you guys go against another good team? It was from EU. It was Kekri's team, right?
Oh yeah, I think that was mainly in the EQ Cups, right? EQ Cups number 2 and number 3, we played them, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so that wasn't RBT.
I don't
Yeah.
think that was RBT.
I remember back in RBT 1, going to the grand finals. That was the most horrifying thing in my entire life. It took probably 3 years off my life going against Flyby, Kimchi, and Makina, and I always forget the last. It was NT. I think it was NT.
Yeah, NT was the last one. Yeah.
That took a good decade off my life.
I mean, yeah, that match was interesting as well. I think I was watching it, and I mean it was quite close, right? From the map 1 to I think 3 or 4, it was pretty close.
Yeah,
Looking how
it
they-
was. It was like my team was a bit hit or miss at the time, but it was we just weren't together, and honestly, the nerves got to us because the name NV was a very kind of intimidating thing at the time to get into, as well as HCP. So that kind of put us on tilt, and then when I get on tilt, I have a tendency to be the brain of the team sometimes, not always, and it
enough.
just hurts. So.
They scored a
enough.
big bonus on map 3 or something like that, didn't they? And it kind of was all downhill from there.
Yeah, and then it's just kind of forfeit, and there was a bunch of crying.
Yeah, I think the mentality within the team for that game was obviously we knew that you guys were obviously a strong opponent. So, and it was a LA server, so we had to go full focus into that game. In terms of team mindset and stuff, I think we don't actually have just one caller. So you obviously have Kimchi, but Flyby is a shotgun player in the team as well. So he takes charge and says, when to go and when maybe we should stop and kill comments and stuff like this. So everyone like says contributes within the team.
Where did
So
that
it's
come
not
about?
just one person.
I'm sorry. Where did that come about? That synergy and that ability to read the spawns and all that. Where did that synergy actually come about? Because I know you guys, once you start doing that, everyone else realized, oh, these guys, they got it together. They figured it out.
Mm.
And then a lot of people they tried to repeat it, and that's pretty much was the meta at the time. I don't see people do it that much anymore, but I just want to
Yeah.
know, when did that start? Who came up with the idea to say position here, position there? I know that in Metafoggle and Compoggle, that was the first signs when it happened back when I was playing, but you guys took it to Pro Mod from that era to Pro Mod, and you stuck with it. And then
I
you
think
turned it
because
into your own kind of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, go ahead.
That's a really good question, actually. I think in terms of team structure and stuff, it's just the nature of how the Japanese, the Korean community they like to play. It's a lot more structured. Because if I'm not trying to generalize here, but a lot of the NA and the EU teams they kind of just like to push forward, play on intuition basically. But for us, we wanted to have some like a set structure, so we have like someone position 1, position 2. And this was a lot more important back in the day because I think the bonus structure was different as well. So obviously now you have DB, right? But before then, it was a lot. We could just like kind of send one guy in front and like kind of take the hits for the team. So therefore, the positioning thing was quite important for us back then. And in terms of the synergy that you speak of, I think especially for the earlier tournaments, because we just started playing together. Although I mean, we all knew each other, like from parks and stuff, but once we started playing together for most of the maps, we kind of had to discuss like after a scrim, like where people messed up, and we still do it now actually, even after scrims.
Yeah, I think
Just
I think Vanille might have some footage of some of the matches that are available from the game. If you want to get some commentary on that, onto what you guys were thinking at the time. I don't think you were playing, but maybe you can get a read as into how it is that they were doing and how it is that went about that. It's pretty straightforward, but I don't know if you want to talk about how well they did or what their flaws were. Being the captain of the team, maybe you can assess things a little bit better.
Footage is rolling actually on the stream right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait, let me load it up. I mean, it's 6 years ago, this footage, I believe. So I'm not sure. I have to test my memory, see if I remember what's going on. But yeah, we can give it a try. So I think at this point, so I guess I'm kind of casting this now, right? It's my trial for being a caster. Okay, yeah, I think for this one, we knew going into the match that it was going to be close because we've played these one game matches before against obviously Longshot dudes, and I think before that we played against Team France. I'm not sure if Team France was on this tournament, but I think that was pretty close as well. If I'm not mistaken, before this clip, before the tank fight, the survivors were like extremely healthy, right? Like,
Yes.
I'm not wrong. Yeah, they were pretty healthy. So we knew going into this that we would either have to try to play long or else we wouldn't be able to take it home. Because the pings on the survivor side were pretty good. I think Bravo is from on the west coast, so he was able to shut down quite a lot of our hits. So we knew that if we wanted to, put pressure on the bonus, reduce it or try to wipe them, we would have to play long, which I think he managed to do. I don't think I was in the voice chat for this one. Can't recall. I would imagine they would be pressured, right? Because the scores were pretty close. But yeah, I don't recall being in the voice chat for this one, so I'm not too sure how it was.
It was indeed a game-winning tank right there.
Yeah,
Very
for sure.
dramatic.
And I just want to clarify one thing is that although we are a Japanese team, we actually speak English when we play. So in the match just now, NT was playing, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Yeah. So and this match right here. So in this case, Flyby, Hansuki, and Kimchi might be saying a bit of things in Japanese if it's like a complicated call or they're not sure what to do. But when there's a conclusion reached, they will obviously say it in English, like simple English, like back or go, kill commons, stuff like this. Because NT is Korean, so he doesn't understand Japanese. So basic English is the way to go in this team. For
I
this,
have a question about that also, actually, if I can jump in
sure,
for
go ahead.
something. So you mentioned that there were some Japanese cups early on that you were playing in. Now, as a North American player, I don't know of any Japanese teams besides Envy. Where did you get practice? Like, how do you skill up? Or am I just was there a thriving scene that we're just not aware of, or how did that work?
So for the Japanese tournaments, if you guys remember back then, it was like DD2N and Skull server. So there were two basically like main server providers. So it's something like Surplease now, right? So they would host their sort of like a community cup back in the day. So there were quite a few Japanese teams. Personally, I can't remember too many of the names, but a lot of the players who played in those cups eventually quit the game and then joined other games, so like Overwatch and things like this when it came out. So most of them didn't continue playing Left 4 Dead. I think only Kimchi, Flyby, and stuff continued on after those community cups to play Left 4 Dead on a more international stage. That's why their names are more well known.
Gotcha.
Got it.
Yeah. So what did it mean to you guys to win RBT? Like, what was that feeling like? Talk about an international win. I know you guys had a background with just talking about that. What did that feel like to get that win and get that reputation in Left 4 Dead 2?
It was a bit of pressure as well because we knew that first of all it's going to be a hard match, as I mentioned previously, and also we were planning to not join any cups after this to quote unquote retire.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the impetus of that was. It could be, I think NT was going to the army or something, so he couldn't play for a while, and maybe the rest of the guys just kind of lost motivation to play the game or something like this. I'm not too sure what the impetus of that was. I'll check and get back to you. Maybe in the, at a later point in this tournament, I'll give you the answer on that. I'm not sure. I actually can't remember why we stopped playing.
Korean gamers going to the army has ended many careers. I'm familiar
Fair
with
enough.
that.
That is true. That is
yeah,
true.
StarCraft players going to the army, they're never back in shape when they come back.
Yeah.
So is Envy back together now, or?
So not really. It's just actually me and Kimchi. But in some stylistically, we've been playing the same as last time. But we have a lot of new players, as you can see. For this cup in particular, we're playing with Lion, formerly from G2. Or he could still be in G2. Not sure what that is, the arrangement there is. But for this cup, he's playing with us. So it's Lion. Helix, who is actually from Evo, the China team. He was one of the substitute players. But I think he, I don't know, he didn't want such an active role within the team. He didn't want to be a main player because he's actually working right now. So he wanted to be a substitute. So he left Evo and joined us. So then the main roster is me, Kane, Kimchi, and Proof. Kane and Proof were not from the, actually just me and Kimchi from the old NV.
No,
Kane and Proof are not.
I know that Proof. I mean, I played with him in some pugs, and this guy, he can really frag with high ping. I can't imagine what he's like with low ping. But I don't know if that's a good sign, because usually the more intelligent players, they they attempt to position like you guys were doing, rather than just running frag. So what's for show isn't exactly what actually plays out in the matches themselves. But I know that he's a really great player and a great addition to your team. If you can, I don't know how you would try to control that energy or work around him, but I think you guys have a very solid lineup there. With you and Kimchi, I think you guys can definitely do some work in this cup, for sure.
Hopefully so. Yeah, so with Proof, the idea was because we actually needed a shotgun player.
Yeah.
Kane can play shotgun, but he prefers to, how should I put this? Like he wants to have the flexibility. He doesn't want to be locked into the shotgun role. So that's why we picked up Proof, because he's a pretty apt player for shotgun.
So how would Lion fit into your team though? Right now, he's from Russia, right? So
yeah, we had to teach this guy English, man. When he first joined, he was speaking some gibberish. I couldn't understand this guy, so we pulled out the dictionary and gone through some easy words, and then he fit. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, this guy can speak English pretty well. Don't know if you guys talked to him before, but yeah, he can speak English pretty well, pretty fluently.
He's probably my favorite Russian player that I come across, other than the other Russian GRZ. That guy's pretty cool too.
Fair enough. fair enough, fair enough. Surprisingly, because he came from a different team, right? A Russian team. I wasn't. I was quite afraid that stylistically he wouldn't fit in, but he did fit in pretty well. And I think one really good thing about him is that he was a caller, if I'm not mistaken, for G2. So he
Yes.
was making a lot of good suggestions to us, which is something really appreciated in a team environment. Because as I mentioned just now, we don't like to just have one caller. It's possible, but it puts too much strain on that person. So we like to split out the leadership roles and just give input wherever we can. So Lion was really good for that. Gave us another voice, within the team.
So who would be your main coming into the cup? What's your ideal lineup for the cup anyway?
It's hard to say actually, but one thing's for sure, Helix is probably going to be on a substitute role, so we'll sub him in when we don't have the main players. But I think main players, we can go with the 5 of us: me, Kane, Kimchi, Broom, and Lion. I think this would be the guys playing most in the tournament.
Yeah, that is pretty solid. Except you guys might have to work out something with the ping issue because from Russia, that's I don't know how that works out, but hopefully it works out well because being an international cup might not be easy for him to play on certain servers. Obviously,
That's a good point. Actually, the routing from Russia to like Eastern, like Japan and Korea is not good. Am I wrong?
It depends on where you live in Russia. Actually, like personally, I'm in Malaysia right now. If I check the ping to Russia, because Russia's quite big, right? There's obviously Moscow, which
yes,
is
it
on the
is.
west side, in the middle, and you have the cities on the right side as well. So if I connect to the cities on the right, I actually get like 90 ping to Russia. But there are no servers there, so it's usually in Moscow. But Lion, he lives in the middle. If I'm not wrong, he lives on the border of like Siberia or something. Not sure exactly where.
Okay.
But long story short, he gets like 80 ping to Japan, so it's not a problem to play with him. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
all right, Derek. So anything that you want to add or or talk about with NV? I think we covered most bases with your team, how you guys came to rise. It's good that Fig asked that question too. Like, where did you guys get that practice? Like, who did you play against? It's good that that was brought up because I often wondered that too. I think I saw you guys play in some cups before, way back in 11. I forget where I saw it on YouTube. I was just like, is that Kimchi? That's Deck? And I remember some of those videos, but it's been a while.
Good old Left 4 Dead 2 Scrim Finder. Dead group now, of course, but it was where we got most of the scrims, especially against the NA opposition. In Asia, we don't really have something like that. It's just you message some other guy in your friend list, and that's how you set up a scrim. There's no group for that. But in terms of any last words, I don't think I have any. Just there's a hope we can all have fun. I'm really looking forward to playing against the other teams in this tournament, especially Rehab. That's going to be fun.
I was just going to ask you, Deck,
yeah.
one last question. Obviously, you guys are one of the legendary teams of Left 4 Dead 2, and obviously the artists formerly known as Pub Stars and Frag 4, now going by Rehab, are honestly probably the favorites going into this. So, how exciting is that potential matchup? Because I know that's something that all of us are looking forward to.
We haven't played them recently, actually, in terms of scrims. So it's definitely gonna be fun. I don't know, just root for the underdog, guys. That's us. That's us, by the way. That's us.
Well said. Yeah,
it's definitely gonna be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely going to be one we're going to look forward to, and I think that's all we've got for you, Deck. Definitely appreciate your time. Appreciate your insight. And
Happy to be here.
Yeah, and good luck in the cup, and we look forward to seeing you. So, with that said, we've got one more interview. We're going to bring in Dr. Sheep from Lost in the Sauce, and here he is, Mr. Sheep. Thank you for joining us.
What's up, everyone?
Hey, buddy.
How's it going?
It's going. It's going pretty well. Better than we expected without Rails, but we're holding our own here.
Yeah, this is definitely more of Rails forte. But I've got a question for you, Sheep. So I think you sort of came around after I kind of stopped playing. So I don't know a whole lot about you, honestly. So if you could give us just a quick rundown of who is the real Dr. Sheep? That's what the people want to know.
Oh, that car. Sorry.
Well, I originally started playing in probably I think 2015 is when I kind of just started playing. I was slowly transformed from pub into just playing pugs into trying to play the competitive scene, but um, kind of just playing with my friends, and then we kind of just got slowly better and better. And I've been all over the place in terms of teams, but here we are in 2021.
Yeah, that's what we all say, right? We start playing, and then all of a sudden it's 2021, and we're just like, what are we doing? But yeah, I've definitely seen you around on some of the better teams. Obviously, Lost in the Sauce won. What was it? RBT4 was it?
Yeah, and it feels RBT4 feels so long ago, but it was only like last year.
This is where Rails is handy, because Rails is like a walking Wikipedia of Left 4 Dead 2. Because I don't remember anything. He'll be like, oh yeah, remember that one match you played? And I'm like, no, I really don't, dude.
Yeah,
I don't-
unfortunately for me, I wasn't around for your tournament, but I did see some of the videos, and man, you guys really can ball. I wish I was there to actually enjoy some games with you and play against you guys more, but fortunately I wasn't. So yeah, I'll just let you go ahead back to what Lexi's saying, because I got lost there for a second. What I was saying, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so tell us a bit about Lost in the Sauce. Kind of who was on that roster, and how did you guys kind of come together?
Well, originally in RBT4, it was the roster was me, Josie, Thug Life, Sir, and Hydro. Um, Thug Life came around during like the semifinals, and like he just hopped onto the roster, and we started really playing with him and around then. But I think we originally signed up. I think I messaged Josie personally, and we made it a team together because it was kind of just a last minute thing, and we kind of just wrote it to the end. The original team I was supposed to play with was like kind of disbanded, and everyone kind of went separate ways. So that's kind of how that formed. But I think it was overall the tournament was pretty fun. It wasn't. I don't think it was anything too worrisome. I think the last like 4 or 5 games were a little closer, but it was a solid team overall. It wasn't. But after that, it kind of disbanded. None of us really played together, other than like Thug and Josie. But
Yeah, I was gonna say, for having your initial team disband, you really put together quite the band of heavy hitters, and you guys had a great performance in RBT. Is there a particular moment that kind of stands out as like your favorite, or some kind of moment you think back of and remember here and there about RBT4?
that's tough. I don't really remember much of the game, but there was one moment. I think it was against actually his team. It was like a butt clencher, like the last like 200 points. Me tri-capped him during a tank, and we got like it was a wipe. And that was essentially, I think, the biggest moment of the tournament. But other than that, I don't think it was any other memorable situations or anything.
Just kind of business as usual, it sounds like.
Yeah. I think the one team against, I forgot. I actually don't know the name of it. It was one of the Asians team. That match was actually kind of close.
Did you guys play against Evo? Asian team? Is it Evo?
It was a team with
What?
ZZZ Fantasy. I forgot the name of that lineup.
I think it's Evo. I'm not sure. That's
might have
like
been
the
Evo.
only Asian team I can think of other than ND. I think there was like some Korean teams played against the past, but teams that stand out anyway that would make finals. It's probably Evo, if that helps.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're watching right now on Vanilla's stream.
Yeah, it was actually this match.
Yeah, and they're another great team. Another team that you guys went up against and did your thing. So when we talk about winning a tournament like RBT4, I mean, I've never won a tournament, obviously. I imagine it's pretty cool. I mean, did it feel, was it satisfying at all, or was it just kind of like, whatever?
It was definitely kind of cool. It was the first tournament win, so it was done to write down. The UN tournament just ended. I mean, that one nearly wasn't as big or exciting, but we just won that one as well, but that was just a random kind of lineup. But it was fun. I enjoyed it. It was one of the more serious tournaments, and glad we kind of brought it home. After like there was a bunch of just internal drama and this, but we just stuck through it.
Gotcha. So you're playing with Rehab right now, right? Or Team Rehab? That would be also known as Pubstar. Like these boys have been around the block for the longest time. Everybody knows Pubstar, I think, at this point. But I'm pretty sure you're playing with them right now. What does that mean to you, and what do you think about that? How do you feel about that?
They're definitely, and in terms of quality and consistency, they're definitely top of the bracket here. They've been playing together for so long, so this is kind of just hopping in there and playing with them. They're just, you can tell they know how to play off each other, and that's something that you don't really see in most teams, like the dynamic of like the chemistry and like where to position and stuff like that. So and I think in terms of winning the tournament, there's a high chance, just based off their track record and what they've done in the past. But it's been fun playing with them. They're great guys, so they know how to play, and they know how to play the game right. So I think it's.
So are you on their main four, or are you just a backup right now? What's your main lineup?
I think the main lineup is either just definitely 4 EU or 3 EU and 1 NA. So I don't know how it's going to really play out. I think it's going to be situational or based off people's schedules. At the moment, I'm probably like a 5th or 6th, so I'm not essentially on the main lineup, but I'm sure there might be a game or two that I'm going to be hopping in or something. Just based off kind of, because this seems like this is going to be a long tournament, so who knows with how many games there's going to be and who's going to be available to play what.
Yeah, hopefully not too long though. This thing shouldn't drag on for, I don't know, 4 months. I hope not.
Well, I promise it will not be 4 months. Take it from me. I won't let that happen.
Yeah.
How many teams are signed up?
65, I think. That was the quote we got earlier.
Yep,
I
65.
counted. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, 65 teams and over 350 players. So definitely a great turnout. And like you said, Rehab has consistently been one of the most dominant teams for years. They have kind of taken a break here and there, but they've been really tough to beat. So, playing with those guys, I'm sure is great. I'm sure it makes the game a lot easier than, playing with, some other teams.
Yeah, I think it's just their mentality and how they kind of approach the game. They definitely take like a position route where everyone kind of just stays where they're supposed to stay, and you play off each other rather than 4 people just running in there, just trying to guess where you're supposed to be and kind of stuff like that. But it's just they have like a system that works. Essentially, that's the best way to explain it.
Yeah,
and I think part of it is they've been playing together for so long, and they've just been successful, so they kind of just understand.
Yeah, for sure. Is there anyone internally that you guys are looking to play against? I know we asked Deck about matching up against you guys. Are you guys looking at NV as a possible threat? Is there another team you guys have singled out, or?
I don't think there's definitely like a few specific teams that like you expect to make like semifinals and kind of reach the end of the tournament. I don't think there's any at the moment any threatening teams. I think once the tournament plays out and you see who kind of is just popping off and see how they play, it might be some bigger threats than most. But the Asian teams are clearly a little bit more rough because of the home and away. Playing on those servers are not the funnest, but it goes both ways. But there's definitely a few decent teams that stand out. Nothing too spooky. That's gonna kind of it comes down to like the home and away situation, that kind of situational things. One game you don't really know If you're stuck playing one neutral game, you don't really know the outcome. Something bad can happen. It could just be unlucky. So just kind of played off that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
As far as I know, I don't think it's actually NV, but there are some players from NV which make it a little bit intimidating. But I don't think you're going to get that same synergy. Playing against a pub star or anybody going against your team, Sheep, I would say you guys are definitely a top 4 though, and I think that you guys are going to go really far. Obviously, being around for so long, and it'd be interesting to play against you guys. Hopefully, my team can get enough practice in to get good again. I mean, it's probably not going to be the same without Acer, my boy, but we'll make do. Looking forward to playing against. I just call them pub stars because they've been around from a very long time. I remember back in 12, it was Spongy and Peter Griffin, and they had some guy named Jewel, I think, or a little bit different lineup, but they've been around forever. I just like to play against them again because there's always a good match.
Yeah, and they've been playing with Dusty for quite a while now, so even he's on there. So, and the full EU lineup they have at the moment is what they've been kind of rolling with. So they've just been jumping back and forth. But overall they've just been a very consistent quality team. So.
Yeah, I definitely think that I don't want to come across as letting off too much, but I think that Pubstar right now, which is your team Rehab, I think you guys are gonna be top 4. It's gonna be your team. Purple's team usually meets top 4. Dex team and probably Evo, if they're called Evo right now. That's probably gonna be my top 4.
You heard it here first, everyone.
Yep. Don't. I mean, I
bets.
might just put a bet down on it, but that could be the top 4. Maybe top 8. I feel safe with top 8. Looking forward to it. Did we cover footage? I think we covered some of the footages going on right now. Which match is this? Do you remember this match?
I think grand finals.
This is grand finals.
Versus IBP.
My goodness. IBP is a team. Adam, Impulsive. Is that Nagi? Impressive line. It's getting a little bit blurry. But those guys, I watch them take off. They're just so good players right now. I mean, I'm just really proud of them, I guess you could say. This is a really good match in the grand finals that they put up. But this is about you and your take on it, not so much about what I think. What was the scariest part for you playing in the grand finals against them? What was the most terrifying thing?
I think we won the home game pretty well. So going into the second game, I don't think it was as stressful. Kind of just you have like the momentum and point lead to kind of just relax a little bit. But once you get, I don't really remember too many important parts of this game. I know we landed good SI hits, but I think it was kind of just a little bit one-sided. And it felt like after like the home game, because that was the first game, but second game they kind of just, I think they were getting a little frustrated, or the mentality game at that point where you kind of just lose the interest and kind of just start holding W. But wow, just watching this now, it feels like this was so long ago, but it was a good match. I think the one team that we really wanted to play in this cup was the Dusty, Dane, Chris Bravo team, but they actually I think the whole situation with Dane, and they kind of just fell apart.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Dane and Chris. I mean, that's. I don't know much about Chris. I really don't know who that is, but I heard about the thing about Dane. Let's not get into it. We're here to talk about it.
Yeah, but that was the one team I think we originally signed up to play against, and we didn't get to play them. We played them once at the like round 1 or 2, but that's the team that we were kind of hoping for to go against in the finals, but that kind of fell through the hole there. But
gotcha. All right, well, should we Did we cover everything? I think we did.
I think it's time.
It's time.
I think it's time to bid farewell to Dr. Sheep. Thank you for partaking in this interview.
Of course.
But we've got something big, or well, not really big. It's time for the pairings.
Yeah.
It is it is time for Mr. Fig Newtons to come on and
The moment you've all been waiting for.
yes, the moment everyone in chat has been talking about.
Like the torch.
Yeah. So Sheep, thank you again, and good luck in this tournament.
Thank you.
You're
You as well. You guys as well.
Thank
You guys are all signed up, right?
I am not.
I'm signed up, but I just hope we can get practicing. Like I just feel so washed right now. I hope I can. I don't let my team down. I'm just so lost.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Good luck.
thank you. Oh my God.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So Fig, this is your time to shine. We will turn it over to you, and we will let you
All
kick
right.
off our week one pairings.
So before we get started on this, a quick word. I think because of the large international showing that we've had, especially from South America, we're doing something a little different this time. We really don't feel confident seeding these teams accurately. So unlike in the past where we would seed the first round, in this case, the first round pairings are completely random. Because we just want to let the results should speak for themselves. And we have some interesting pairings as a result of that, to say the least. So without any further ado, well, we have, so there's 65 teams, 32 pairings, there's one bye. I'm gonna read the bye first, so that everybody knows whether they have a pairing or not. The bye will go to Team Relax Us. So if you're on Relax Us, you don't have to play this week, you get a free win. Congratulations on your win. And everybody else is leaning forward now. So game one will be between Vandals and Nameless. Game two, Night Riders and 44 Biceps. Number three, A Right Damn Good Team versus No Hablo Español. All right, game four, Not Now versus Apex. Game five is Aqualax versus Pesquisjimba. That must be an acronym for something. I don't know what's going on with that. Number six, Pink Gang will face off against Babylonia. Number seven, Back for Blood versus PugChamp. All right, game eight, Quick Cleans faces Bathtub Swimmers. Game nine, Berserkers Mode against Road Cardinals. Game 10 is Royal Chaos versus Children Goods. Excuse me, game 11 is Duplex versus Sad Left 4 Dead. Game 12, Sank Squatch versus Evo. #13, Elite Peru versus Short Arm Association. Number 14, Sick Mundus versus Envy. Envy. 15. Familiate versus Slacked. Number 16. Stay Poor B versus Team Fear. Halfway through. Number 17. Flick Shotters versus Stuck in Rotation. You good? Okay. Number 18 is Supreme Stars against Full Metal Jacket. Getting some commentary about the team names. This is probably my favorite team name in this tournament. Number 19, Getting High and Buying Things Off the Internet versus Team Syllables. I'm with you on that. Number 20, TBA versus Ghostbusters. #21, Globogem versus TT, the little Saab emoticon. Team Saab. #22, Tempo versus Goon Gamers. #23, Grunge Gods against Trust the Process. Okay, 24, Win Serial against Instick. #25, Impossibrew versus Zorlap. Game 26 is Allendale against Team Infamous. #27, Insax versus Bubble Tea. #28, Cloud9 versus Judgment. #29, Keyboard Warriors versus Hot Dog Water. #30, Illicit 6 against Left 4 Dead 1 was better. #31, Mad Sad Bad versus Cal 2021 Yiv.
It was worth it.
What the hell, man? I'm glad I don't have to do this every week. A couple of these are, what are you doing? People are weird. And the last one, as you may have noticed, we're missing the one and only Rehab versus Team Mix. So those are your pairings for round one. Start scheduling your matches early and get those matches played. Because
Yes, you're absolutely going to want to get those scheduled early. You know, one thing I thought about earlier is, with having 32 games, hopefully everyone's not scheduling their games at the same time, because there's only so many servers.
right?
So hopefully we don't run out of servers. But yeah, find your opponent, add the captain, start negotiating your match, servers and whatnot. And good luck to everyone.
Yeah, and I definitely want to really underscore that point also with the, especially with the international format, the language barriers. If you're going to be talking to somebody through Google Translate, you better start talking soon rather than later. because I will double forfeit you if you don't get your match played. So get those matches scheduled.
Yeah, Fig is definitely not afraid to do that. This is not a democracy; it's a Figocracy. So
That's
get
right.
those matches scheduled. And I think that's really all we got. Unless someone wants to say something before we go.
I got nothing really. I think we covered a lot of stuff here. I just want to say thank you to Rails. He's probably gonna go back and watch this. Be like, okay, I guess he didn't do too bad. But thank you to Rails for putting all this together, and Alexi and Fig for being Fig, the principal that did too. But at least the community anyway. And yeah, that's about it. Hopefully, Rails can look back on this and say, well, they did half decent. You know, it was a patch-up job, but they did okay. So there's that.
Thanks everyone for watching. Good luck to all the competitors.
Yep.
Signing
And
off.
we've taken enough of your time, so everyone get your matches scheduled. Good luck, have fun, and we will see you later.